back to the Truth Be Told podcast. I'm your host, Pat.
I'm your host, Fred.
And today I think we're gonna cover we're gonna try to change it up and do a multiple ways to save in 2024. Now, the reason I'm doing this video because we just did a podcast session where we were talking about financing and investing. And it came to me of it's so many ways to save and invest. So I was just thinking for myself, Fred, like okay, so I'm working a job.
Right.
I'm working at Sam, so I have that income,
Right.
and it might not work for everybody. Like I said, if you married, it might be different. You have kids, it might be different. So I've been debating on getting a second job.
Right.
So all of this, I'm able to take care of myself and my wife, and she work with the income I have already.
Right.
So if I get this second job, that second job is strictly for investing. Like no saving, it's strictly for investing. I plan on using that job for investing. And I know you mentioned on a previous episode of somebody decided to invest in their 401k and end up saving a pretty large amount. So it's just an idea in my head. Let's say I get me another job and it end up being full time. Like I say, end up being full time. Might be part of it. You just say full time. So I decided, okay, for sure, if they offer 401k, regardless of what the percentage is, I'm gonna do that. Because like I said, this income is strictly towards saving.
Right.
So and yes, I'm probably gonna end up doing it for a few years. I don't. It could be long term, but I don't plan on working, two jobs that long. But I do want to start a good savings.
Right.
So one of my ideas was, like I say, get a second job. That income is straight to a saving. Not gonna put a dime out it towards to pay a bill. So 401k would be one start.
Right.
What would you suggest to be another addition add on to that? Like I say, each paycheck is bi-weekly. So each paycheck I'm going towards saving.
Okay. You put the money in 401k.
Well, I mean investing, going towards investing.
All right. Set a goal. Says I'm going to invest $10,000. But remember, you don't invest $5,000. You want to invest your goal, which is 10. So you need to say, I'm going to take some of that money that I'm going to have left over after I pay my taxes and stuff, that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it into a savings account. But remember, when you're working a two jobs, you also increase your taxable income.
Right.
So that means you're going to end up paying taxes at the end of the year. So you got to actually look at that and say, you know what? I got to expect this to happen. So when I put the money, I need to put something back from the tax. Because you don't want to put it in savings and all of a sudden you got to keep pulling it out for taxes, and what you don't need to. You should have knew it was going to happen before it happened. So you go ahead on, you put some in your savings account, build it up, and then you got to understand money should not just go for this is my stock. So I'm building up this for $10,000. I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna buy it in a bond. I'm gonna put this in the stock market, $10,000. Then I'm gonna say this next amount. I'm gonna say this money. I'm gonna put it somewhere else. But every time you get paid, you should be putting your money somewhere. Money without destination disappears.
Right.
So you can't sit around and say, "Oh, I made this amount," but you don't know where it went. The reason you don't know where it went because you gave it no destination. Make sure you savings account. If your company offers anything besides 401k, jump into it. I don't know if they're offering buying stock or whatever it is, jump into it. So now you got the stock part that you're buying from the company. You got the part where you're sitting around and you save $10,000 that you're going to invest as soon as you get $10,000. You got this money you're saving for your bond. So now we saving 3 different ways to put our money in 3 different avenues.
Right.
So that's the first step. Remember, when you're working 2 jobs, though, it takes time. And it's time away from your family.
Right.
So you want to work it and you say, you know what? I want to work the 2 jobs, but I still have to save from my first job. Because if you're only looking at this job only and not looking at this job, some money is left unattended or without a destination.
Right.
So you got to make sure that every penny that you make, no matter if it's the first job or the second job, that every penny has a destination. Don't sit around and pay unnecessary things. For example, you sit around there, most people come up and they try to sell you things. Some things are needed, you have to buy it. But sometimes people are hornswoggling you. They're trying to get money out of you. Everybody's trying to get money. You have to be able to say, you know what? This is what someone told me that was going to happen. And this is what actually happened. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
We have to stop letting people take our money and start to save that part of the money we need. We can't sit around and say, you know what? You promised me this bill. Now all of a sudden you charge me this bill. I'm not going to pay that bill because what? All you're doing is fleecing me. You don't need to be fleeced of your cash, of your hard-earned money. You need to go ahead on and move it around and invest it in your savings plan, invest it in your stock plans, invest it in your company's plan, invest in your 401k, invest in your Roth IRA, invest in it all. But remember, when investing comes, it takes time. And you are not going to get rich in a year. You gotta make sure it's over time. So therefore, that's when you build your wealth. We don't work 1 week and get $1 billion. To get us or even work all our lifetime to get $1 million, it takes our whole lifetime.
Right.
So we got to keep on working and keep on building every single day. Should be a saving. Another way you can save is paying close attention to your bills. Small amounts of money can actually reduce your investment capital. So if I'm sitting around there and I got a bill, but then I'm paying late fees, that's taken away from my income that I could be saving. So I got to pay attention to all of this small details. Bank overdrafts. If I'm going over bank overdraft, I'm paying money out. I cannot pay money out that I should be investing with. See, those kind of things take your money and you don't even know they're taking the money.
Right.
So if we're looking to save our money, we got to look at every penny and make sure every penny has a destination and make sure no money that you have is randomly running out there loose. It has to have a destination and you got to make sure it goes to that destination.
Right.
So, like I said, don't just sit and do it once. Everything matters. No such thing as one thing. Oh, it don't matter. I got this amount of money, so I can go do this. No, every penny matters.
Right. I also had a thought on maybe next year I'm gonna try. My wife working.
Right.
I'm working. I'm gonna try because I've been crunching my numbers, so I'm gonna try to live off of one income this year,
Right,
and sake of the other.
right.
So what's your opinion on that?
You know what? That's a good one. But when you're living off one income, one thing you got to understand is there has to be a good understanding between you and your wife, because your thoughts and beliefs may be different from hers. So you may say, you know what, we're gonna live off my income, or you say I'm gonna live off your income. Everybody got to be willing to work together, but most people are not willing to work together. That's why when it comes down to investment, most people are not investing with groups. Why? Because groups keep on conflicting. I'm not investing with family because they conflict. I want to put my money here. I don't think that's a good investment. See what I'm saying?
Right.
If it was your decision, you wouldn't have a thought where it goes. You know where it's going.
You can make better investments.
Right. So, I understand that part. It makes good sense to say, I'm going to live off one income. But like I said, if it's not on the same accord, it probably won't going to happen. Because, I tried that before too.
Okay.
I had a goal. I was like, I can say this word. You never have to do this. No, it didn't work.
And that's why we discuss these things, like I said, because every time I come up with a thought, and of course, when you come up with a thought, want it to be discussed, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably had that same thought of,
right.
What if I do this? What if I do this? Because I want to get to a point where at least you have your catalog of different ways to save. Like I said, where you get another job, where you get another, where you live off one income. Now, the reason being, it comes to the point, okay, first of all, is how can we build up capital? How can we build up capital? So once we figure it, and this is why I'm coming with these ideas. Okay, so once we build up with the capital, we got videos on investing and what to do with our money. So now we got to try to break it down of how can we accumulate this money? Because like I said, of course, we want to have residual income. We want to have multiple income streams, but we got to break it down all the way from how to gain capital,
right,
how to use capital, how to invest capital. You know how to say you want to understand, have an understanding of multiple ways on how to do it. Because like you said, I had it in mind too. I did mention it before to her, to my wife, but like you said, you got to be on the same understanding. Because in my mind, it sounds good. It sounds good because, like I said, I didn't calculate it. I know what we spend each year. Work. I know what we make each year. So if we, for example, if I pay the bills and pay everything, pay the bill, you want to go out to eat, whatever, my check go into this joint account. And that you can, if you want to feel comfortable paying the bills and everything, you paid everything, whatever we had left, you can say, because we both gonna be, it's kind of like I might be the income, I might bring it in, and you be the financial advisor. So you can go in the account, you say, okay, we got extra money, let's do this. Okay, so your money going into another joint savings account is supposed to get saved. So like you said, if you decide to do that, you have to have a great understanding. And in a way, in a sense, wife or not, you might well come up with an agreement. Like I say, might well come up with an agreement. That way, rules be set, and then it'll be a better understanding. Just saying verbally, like, well, we gonna save this money. So, like, and if you think about it, they're gonna be a large amount of money, and some people might not be used to that type of money. So, like I say, if whatever, and the math is simple. Whatever your income is, you know, you're gonna, as long as you go to work, you don't get sick, you're gonna have pretty much that amount at the end of the year. Like, so you calculate it, take your taxes out of it, and you know, that's pretty much no brainer. If, like I said, you all have an understanding on doing it.
Right, definitely have an understanding. And most people don't understand that when you come down to actually saving money, like I said, when you're talking about focus, one must always be focused and true to oneself. So therefore, if I say I'm gonna do something, do it. Don't sit there and say something without proving action behind it. We're too busy saying, you know what, I'm gonna say it is, I'm gonna say it is. Most people write it down. And therefore, every month we should have a check system, which says, you know what? Okay, this month over with, let's check and see what we did on our goal. Did we put this money here? Did we put this money there? We put that. We got to keep checking and checking ourselves. The more we check, the better we get at it. The better we get at it, the more we have, the more residual income we're gonna make in the future. But until we do that, we have to actually keep on checking to find out if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing or we say that we were going to do. Like most people, we get caught up saying we're gonna save money, but we never do anything about it. What faith without work is dead. One must work. Work at whatever goal, whatever plan you have to work at it. And you got to work at it every single day. Don't say, you know what, I'm just gonna check it this month, but I'm not gonna check it next month. Every single month needs to be checked. Every single month. Remember, as you're doing all the checking and you're doing all the savings, remember, you always have to have that emergency fund because you don't want your emergency fund to come from all that you save. So you have your emergency fund. So if something comes up, you ain't got to keep on dipping out your money because you keep dipping from your money, you ain't gonna have enough to invest in. Or when you do invest, it's gonna be so small that your residual gonna be so small. So like I said, you just need to go ahead on check every single day or every week. And then when you do that, at the end of the year, go back and set a goal. Say we saved $10,000 this year. Celebrate your $10,000. Your $10,000. If I say $10,000 for a year, I'm going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate. So don't just sit around and just save money without actually celebrating it. So therefore, if you're celebrating it, you become a part of it. You come like, oh man, I did something. I'm energetic. So then you say, you know what? Next year we save 12.
Got to achieve it.
Yeah. But it says you have to reward yourself no matter what. The more you reward yourself, the more drive you will have to keep doing what you're doing, and your better results you will have.
So this is just a short, straight to the point video on ways to save in 2024. Like I said, I hope this really encouraged somebody to go ahead and get started because I'm motivated for you all. Like I said, I'm to a point now. At some point, I might even decide to be a life coach because I'm so driven to do stuff. If I see somebody else want to do it or I can see they work, I want to push them too because I want all of us to be able to see our full potential. Like I say, if you healthy, if you have that thought, maybe I'm thinking about getting a second job, do it, and just make sure you do right with it. Like I said, you want to start saving this year. Every year, everybody hit the I'm gonna save this year, I'm gonna do this, and then like I said, get into week 2 and then it's over. But I want you all to just start a savings plan. Like even just start with $1 a day, just $1 a day. Then like I said, once you get, because the main thing you have to, like you said, Fred, you have to get started. Then you have to set yourself some goals. You have to go and look at it. Then you have to celebrate. And once you get that routine, it's gonna come easily and effortlessly. Like I say, and then stuff, and then the ordinary stuff in life, it will be a no-brainer. Tax come, put that inside the account. You know, I get extra money come from here, put it inside the account. Like I said, it's not no point of I need to use this money right now. So I want you all to be able to write this stuff. Then you have to pause the video, pause it, jot some stuff down. You got to replay it back. Make sure you are noting this stuff and applying it to your day-to-day life. But I appreciate y'all for watching the channel, and make sure you like this video. If you got some information out of the video, like it. Each video you watch, like it if you got something, some kind of good information from it.
Right. And if you want to share information, please share with us. We'll be glad to put it on the air next time we shoot a video.
Yeah, I'll read it and I'll start throwing it on the screen and put your comments up there as we go through a podcast to show you that we see you all. And like I said, we might do a live session later on down the road. If enough of you all have enough questions that you want to ask us, we'll probably do that and be able to answer your question directly. But I appreciate y'all for following. Make sure you
like and subscribe. Remember, as we keep growing, you grow. Family is family.
Yes, sir.
Talking investment, making wealth with the cryptocurrency. None to lose like a Martin Lawrence. Airbnb, just a little insurance. I'm popping the flexing. Remember when I had the band of crib? I hated a blessing.